Okay, so today I'm putting 3 major AI video generators through the exact same test, and I'm keeping the rules simple. Same number of challenges, progressively harder prompts, and no giving one tool an easy ride just because it's popular. All 3 can produce some seriously realistic footage, but seeing a cool demo is one thing. I want to know which one actually holds up when you push them the same way. We're starting easy, moving to medium, and then hitting each one with a much tougher challenge. At the end, I'll give you my personal pick, but I want to hear yours too. Once you've seen everything, drop your favorite in the comments and let me know which one takes the top spot. Alright, let's jump in. One quick thing first. None of these platforms are unlimited, so if you start generating like crazy, you'll probably hit usage limits. Most do give you credits to test things out though, so you can play around with a few prompts before deciding if you actually need more. And if I use any prompts or resources you want to try, I'll leave them linked in the description. Coming in at number 3, we've got Qwen. It's been getting more attention as its generation tools keep improving, so I wanted to see how it handles some seriously demanding footage. Getting started is pretty easy. Head over to Qwen, sign in, and you're ready to generate. For the first test, I'm skipping the basic stuff and going straight into an extreme high-speed supercar, racing through a rain-soaked city at night, with a low road-level camera, headlights reflecting across wet asphalt, and realistic motion blur. And this is a pretty crazy way to start. The speed hits immediately, the reflections add depth to the road, and that low angle makes the car feel like it's flying through the streets. The motion blur also sells the speed without turning everything into one giant blur. Now let's push it harder. The second prompt is a first-person motorcycle ride at insane speed through a winding mountain road with sharp turns, cliffs on both sides, a helmet-mounted camera, and natural camera shake. This kind of footage can fall apart fast because everything is moving at once. But Qwen keeps the road pretty readable, and the camera shake actually adds to that raw action cam feel. You can follow the bike through the corners without the shot becoming a mess. Now we're going much bigger. For the third challenge, I'm using a helicopter flying through a massive canyon at sunrise, with the camera chasing from behind while huge rock walls pass extremely close on both sides. This tests something different: scale, depth, and a massive environment moving through the frame. The canyon feels huge, the sunrise gives it a warm, cinematic look, and the chase perspective makes the helicopter feel like it's actually cutting through the landscape. But I saved the most aggressive shot for last. The final Qwen prompt is a professional drift car sliding through a tight mountain hairpin at extreme speed, tire smoke trailing behind, with a low-angle tracking shot and realistic suspension movement. Now we've got the car changing direction, losing traction, throwing smoke, and reacting to the road all at once. And the result has plenty of energy. That low camera makes the drift feel seriously close and intense. For a set of prompts this focused on speed and motion, Qwen makes a pretty strong first impression. But we've still got 2 more generators to put through the same test. And that wraps up Qwen's 4 challenges. What stood out to me was how different each shot felt. From a rain-soaked city and first-person mountain ride to a massive canyon and high-speed drift. Qwen had to handle cars, bikes, aircraft, changing environments, and aggressive camera movement. And overall, the footage stayed pretty fun to watch. Now, let's see if the next tool can keep up. Coming in at number 2 is Google Flow. This is Google's AI filmmaking platform, built more around cinematic video than basic AI clips. I've seen some wild examples from it, but I don't want to judge it off viral clips. We're giving it the same treatment as Qwen with 4 completely different high-intensity shots. For the first one, I'm starting with a first-person roller coaster ride dropping down a massive vertical track, followed by rapid turns and tunnels, with realistic vibration and natural motion blur. Right away, Flow gives us a convincing sense of movement. The first drop has serious energy, the camera shake sells the ride, and the motion blur kicks in naturally as everything flies past. It feels fast without becoming impossible to follow. But now we're taking things way outside the theme park. The second prompt has 2 fighter jets flying at extreme speed between towering mountains, with the camera following from a distant aerial angle while clouds rush past. This one is all about scale and speed. The jets look tiny against the mountains, making the environment feel massive, while the moving clouds add another layer of motion. The aerial perspective also gives the shot a much bigger cinematic feel. Alright, now I'm switching things up completely. For the third prompt, I'm going in close with a massive crocodile suddenly moving through shallow water toward the camera, with realistic skin detail and water splashing across the lens. This is a totally different challenge because the camera is right in the action. Flow handles the close-up pretty well. The crocodile has plenty of visible texture, the water movement feels physical, and that splash across the lens gives it a raw wildlife footage vibe. It definitely feels more intense when the subject is this close, but we're not done yet. For the final challenge, I'm taking Flow into the desert with a high-speed dirt bike racing through a rocky canyon, the rider launching over rough terrain while dust kicks up behind them, all from an action camera perspective. There's a lot happening here. Speed, changing terrain, jumps, and dust that could easily make the frame chaotic. But the footage keeps that aggressive off-road feel. The action camera angle makes the movement feel immediate, while the dust and rocky terrain add plenty of texture. So after 4 very different challenges, Flow is definitely holding its own. It handles speed, scale, close-up detail, and rough terrain without making every shot feel the same. But now we're moving to the final tool, and this is probably the one I was most curious about because it's not mainly known for AI video. Yep, I'm talking about Canva. Most people know Canva for thumbnails, presentations, social media designs, and stuff like that. But with its newer AI features, it's also getting into video generation. So the big question is, can Canva actually keep up when we throw these same intense prompts at it? Let's see. One thing I like about Canva is that you can design, edit, make graphics, and now generate video without jumping between a bunch of platforms. But that only matters if the video output is actually good. So I wanted to see if Canva could handle some more intense footage and still keep it convincing. For the first test, I'm going straight into a sports car blasting through a long underground tunnel at full speed, with the camera mounted close to the front bumper and tunnel lights flying past overhead. And this one has a strong sense of speed. The low camera makes the road feel like it's rushing underneath you, while the lights streaking past add a ton of momentum. It's simple, but the movement does all the work. Now let's switch things up. For the second prompt, I'm using a helicopter weaving between huge snowy mountain peaks during a storm, with clouds moving rapidly around it and a cinematic cockpit perspective. There's a lot more for Canva to handle here. The helicopter, massive environment, moving clouds, snow-covered mountains, and cockpit camera. And the result has a pretty cool sense of scale. The mountains feel huge, the storm adds atmosphere, and the cockpit view makes it feel like you're actually along for the ride. Okay, back to ground level. The third prompt is a first-person downhill mountain bike run through a dense forest trail, with trees flying past, sharp corners, and realistic body movement. This one feels much more raw. The first-person angle puts you right in the trail, the rushing trees sell the speed, and the quick turns give it that unpredictable action cam feel. It doesn't need crazy effects. The movement does enough. For the final challenge, I wanted something more futuristic. A race car accelerating onto a futuristic highway at night, hundreds of lights streaking past, with a low front-mounted camera. And this one is pretty fun. The lights stretch across the frame as the car accelerates, while the low angle keeps the road right in your face. It gives the shot that fast, futuristic vibe without needing a ton happening in the background. So after putting all 3 generators through these tests, the results are pretty interesting. No single tool completely dominates every category. Qwen had strong, high-speed action shots. Flow handled scale, movement, and detail really well. And Canva showed it can produce solid footage even though most people know it for design. If I had to pick one overall, I'd still go with Canva. For me, it had the best balance between the output and how easy the platform is to use. But that's my ranking. I want to hear yours. Which one would you actually use after seeing all these results? Let me know in the comments and tell me if your number 1 matches mine or if you'd rank them completely differently. And if you want to try the prompts or check out the resources from this video, everything is linked in the description. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.